Hello again, Kev from Leeds Harmonica. Continuing here with part 2 of Essential Techniques for Blues Harmonica. Part 1, which you'll find the link for down below, focused on tongue blocking techniques. And what I'm going to do this time is quickly run through some general techniques you can do whether you're tongue blocking or not. Although why you wouldn't be tongue blocking, I have no idea. Anyway, here we go. So this first technique is called a dip. You might hear it referred to as a scoop or a slur, various other things. But essentially what it is when we start playing a note in the bent position and then very quickly release it to the natural note. It's a decorative effect. The bent note isn't really sort of musically important. It's probably not part of your melody. It's just a little way of putting a little bit of expression into the note. It sounds like this on a 3 draw, 4 draw, 1 draw, 2 draw. Very, very effective little technique. I'm not going to go into how to bend here because that's a whole other kettle of fish. But the dip's fantastic. You can do, the technical name for it escapes me at the minute, but you can do a sort of reverse dip, which is where you start on the natural note and then quickly just dip down. Very, very cool as well. So the cat's going scatty. So I'm going to improvise a chorus and hopefully use a lot of dips so you can hear how they sound. Here we go. Next technique we're going to look at is a double stop. This just involves playing 2 holes adjacently at the same time. Sometimes you get a nice harmonious sound, depending on where you are. Sometimes you get something that's slightly off key, but there's a lot of places you can play this. Typically, you'll be using probably 3-4 at the same time and 4-5 at the same time. Here's 3-4. Sort of trainy 4-5. Very, very cool. What's also effective actually is if you can dip into these, like we just talked about dips, that really adds a lot to the sound. Very, very cool. So it's a good throaty, bluesy sound. And all we're doing is opening our mouth slightly wider so we get 2 holes at the same time. Oh, actually, one that's underused is 2-3 draw. You've actually got 2/3 of a G chord in there. Sorry, that one. And that doesn't tend to get used a lot, but it's quite nice. It harmonises nicely. Anyway, I am going to go back to the jam track and see if I can do some double stops. This next technique is a biggie. This is a classic technique used, you'll hear it all over classic 50s blues, traditional blues. It's called the shake, sometimes called a warble or a trill. And this is just simply playing one note after the other. Play a low note, high note, low note, high note, low note, high note, low note, high note, very rapidly. But sped up a little bit, right? And you get that kind of, I don't know, it's classic bluesy sound. Most commonly, you can do this anywhere, but most commonly probably on 2 or 3, 4 and 5, and 4 and 5 below. Not 2 and 3, sorry, 3 and 4. 4 and 5. 4 and 5 blow. That's useful when you're on the 4 chord. Really, really great technique. Works even better if you put a little dip at the start. You should always start on the lower note here, by the way. So if you put a little dip in and then start a shake, this is the 3/4 again. Much better. And then, if you can bend your dip down while you're playing it, you get another very, very cool sound. And that is very, very bluesy. Classic blues sound. Alright, I'm going to go back to the jam track and try and play some shakes. Here we go. Right, this last technique's an interesting one. This is tremolo, and tremolo is defined as being a rapid change in volume, which means you go loud, quiet, loud, quiet, loud, quiet, quite quickly. It's often confused with vibrato, and vibrato is another technique we can do on harmonica. I'm not going to look at it right now, which is where the pitch changes slightly, rapidly. But anyway, we're dealing with a change of volume. So I'm going to play a 4 blow. That's just 4 blow, right? Nothing special. I'm going to play the 4 blow with a tremolo. So what's happening there to create that sort of warbling tremolo effect is that I'm doing a series of small coughs. I'm going get a bit closer to the mic. You can do it on the inhale as well. And what happens there when you go like that is that your vocal folds are briefly closing and then springing open. And obviously that interrupts the airflow and it cuts out the volume for a second and you get that nice effect. You can do it quickly or slowly. Something to bear in mind here. I've had a terrible trouble with my tremolo because for a long time I was doing it with my diaphragm and sort of going like crazy to get this tremolo sound, but the magic is all in the throat. That's what you want to be looking at. It's usually easier to start on the blow notes because when we're doing the draw notes, that's a very unusual thing for your body to be doing, and there's a bit of gag reflex there that you've got to sort of learn to overcome. But it's very doable. Just sit down for a couple of minutes and a day and you'll get there in a week or two. So really nice way of making your notes sound sweet. I tend to play it on any note that lasts more than an eighth note or a quarter note. Just put that little wobble in there. It adds a lot of vibrancy and a more vocal like quality, very expressive to your playing. So having rabbited on about that enough, let's go to the jam track and I'll try and play some tremolo. Here we go. Okay, thanks for watching. If you've got this far, I hope that was useful or explained some things or made you want to go out and learn some more for yourself. As I keep banging on about, I'm more and more convinced that the best way to learn anything probably, but definitely harmonica, is to have a live teacher who can give you feedback on what you're doing. It'll help you progress so much better. Anyway, I hope that was fun. leedsharmonica.uk for harmonica nerdery, if you want lessons, or just follow the blog there. I try and post harmonica related stuff fairly regularly. So I hope that was enjoyed, and I will see you again soon. Bye bye.